And we
Here we
are
go.
live. What is going on, everybody? My name is Scott Moran. I'm the co-founder here at SamCart. And with me today is the crew, the Wrecking Squad, Paige Iannarino, Jordan P. Anderson, video production extraordinaire. Guys, hello and welcome to Course Creation Challenge Live number 2.
Welcome,
Hey
welcome.
What's going on?
Live number
So,
2.
Live number 2, babe. Here we are. It is Q&A day. It is time to review the last few days of the Course Creation Challenge, to answer your guys' questions live and in person, to review pods, to discuss feelings and emotions, to come together as a community and dive into exactly all this awesome training and make sure that you guys are accountable. Number one, that we're holding you guys accountable to doing the work and getting in and doing these kinds of things, to make sure that we are unleashing all of your creativity and removing roadblocks to make sure that all of you guys can keep moving forward with this incredible new asset that you are building in your very next course. So, Paige, let us know what's been going on lately. We do a lot of things now, a lot of things that customers can go and check out, both here in the Facebook group, in the Customer Challenge Facebook group, in the normal Facebook group, right? And you are the king of said things. What else is going on out there? How else can our customers be getting some help?
Yeah, definitely. So we have weekly customer events. I'm going to drop into our chat so that way we can share this link with all of our viewers here. So whether or not you're new to the SamCart family, or maybe this is your second or third time in the Course Creation Challenge, we have customer events for you weekly. I encourage you all to attend as many as you can. And then make sure you have joined both Facebook groups, the SamCart official Facebook group and the Course Creation Challenge Facebook group as well. So there's always something going on. It's lots of fun. Everyone's engaging with each other, sharing their sales pages to get feedback on, sharing your titles and pods for your courses. So make sure you're, in both groups of our Facebook groups, and then check out those customer events as well.
Love it. Absolutely love it. We've got people from New York City in here. We've got Delena says good morning from Japan.
Whoa.
We got people, man. We got all over the place in here represented. That's super exciting. Jordan, here's a question for you, because I know you're the guy for this. Oscar asked, do we get access to the recordings? I never got anything about Course Creation Live number 1.
Yes, all of the past recordings, live recordings, you can find them in your course library. So log into SamCart, go to Creator U, and you will find in the live section of the Course Creation Challenge, live number 1, live number 2, and even past recordings from yesteryear. So they're all there.
We do. That's right. I believe is this our 4th cohort of the challenge?
I think so.
I think this is cohort 4, which is wild, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But basically, you guys, not only do you get access when we're done here today, Jordan posts that stuff inside of Creator U. So go into the Course Creation Challenge. You can watch the replay from Q&A number 1. But yeah, we have other Q&A number 1s that we did before in there as well from other past cohorts. So there is an incredible amount of information in there for you guys to dive in and get help with all of that awesome stuff that you guys need. So Jordan, you've got the slides. You are the man with the plan here today. Let's go ahead and dive in, because we've got some fun stuff to talk about.
Okay, so this week we talked about course outline, we talked about beta users, we talked about building your SamCart page, building your course library. And folks, if you're watching this, drop your takeaways in the chat. You can do hashtag CCC for Course Creation Challenge. But if you hear anything insightful and that it just sticks out to you and like, yes, this is an aha moment, drop it in the chat. Drop like, this was my favorite fact. This is my favorite insight. Because you guys are a part of this. This is all for you guys. We're here to answer your questions. If you have questions throughout this, drop them in the chat. We'll collect them, answer them throughout. We've got a dedicated section at the end of this presentation for Q&A. But let's kind of dive in. Who do we have here today? We've got Scott Moran, the co-founder here at SamCart. Paige Iannarino. Paige, are you changing your last name when you're getting married? How's that going down?
I might hyphenate.
Hyphenate. Okay. Oh man, I got to be honest, Paige. Your name hyphenated, electric. That would be electric.
And then I've got myself, Jordan Anderson, the videographer. So yeah, if you have any questions for us in the Facebook group, ask away, tag us. We're here to help at any time.
Love it. Yep. Karen says she's been doing great, working hard on this. She's saying imposter syndrome hitting hard. We've got Oscar even said, Oscar said, I joined the challenge but didn't get Creator U. Yeah, Oscar, everything that you have right now is inside Creator U is the area in which you guys watch these videos for the challenge, right? So Creator U is like a whole thing, right? But you guys joined the course creation challenge. So you have course creation challenge, but that's one part of this whole thing that we call Creator U. So even if you decided not to take the entire Creator U library, right, you still have the course creation challenge in there and all the recordings and everything like that. So definitely go into your account. You access it from inside of your SamCart dashboard. Click on Creator U in the top right. I'm pointing in the wrong direction. Put it in the top right, and you'll be able to check out this and all of the recordings.
Sweet. I think the lesson was number 5. I think it was this Monday that came out, the 5-part course outline. Let me get my slide. Here we go. And it kind of gives an outline, just like if you're not sure what your course should be about, or you're not sure like what order your lesson should be in, we kind of break it down into 5 simple steps, like the introduction, myth busting, the mechanics, maintenance, and troubleshooting. Scott, do you want to kind of walk through each of these 5 parts?
Big time. Yeah. So this is the, which by the way, I feel like we all have to represent. Check out all of us in our fresh SamCart swag. Looking at this, I promise you guys, this was completely unintentional. We did not plan for this whatsoever. And I do feel a little nerdy that we all have it, but represent. Let's go. The 5-part course outline is exactly what it sounds like. It is here to give you guys some structure, some bones, right? So when you sit down and think, okay, what is the outline of my course? What I'm going to start with, how I'm going to, structure it without that. Because when you sit down, like you ever opened up like a blank Google Doc or a blank Pages doc and just sat there and you're like, okay, part 1, in the beginning, like you just start typing and think like, where is this going, right? This course outline is designed to be your guys' shortcut so that creating your course and outlining, getting a sense of what goes where and how, when you should start, when you should stop, you know what I mean? Like it's designed to help you guys organize your thoughts. Okay. So we start with introduction. It's always the same thing. Introduction, your job at the very beginning of your course is to just have one video, one module, one whatever, right? That just resells why someone is there. Don't expect that people just remember why your course is so awesome and why they should be there, right? The idea is that you guys have to resell them on the big benefits, right? Here's why you're here. You're planting your flag in the ground and saying, here's what we're doing here. This is what we're going to accomplish, right? Drawing a circle around and saying, here's what we're going to go do, right? And moving on. Then myth busting, number 2 is, again, exactly what it sounds like. Your job is to bust up the big myths that people are going to feel, right? So let's use this one as an example. If your course or training was all about, getting better scores on your SATs, right? Maybe your myth busting section would come down to the idea of like, people who know math better just are inherently better at the SATs, right? Or there are people who score better on tests and people who score worse on tests, and there's nothing you could do about it. Like, those would be like myths. You got to go after those. You got to break them down and tell everyone, hey, here's why these myths are wrong. And I'll show you the right way inside of step number 3, which is the mechanics, right? Jordan, walk us through, give us the mechanics. I know that's
so the mechanics are the most hands-on. Like, this is going to be the biggest chunk of your course. These are the actual how-to steps. Like you said, you're going to deliver a promise. I'm going to teach you how to do this. Step number 3, the mechanics. That's where you actually dive in and say, step 1, step 2, step 3, do this. First, open up the document. First, hit this, do that. Like, you're getting very literal. You're going right at the lesson. Simple as that.
That's where you do the teaching. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's where the bulk of your course will live. And Jordan, you actually go ahead one slide. I think that's actually a great slide to show right now.
Yes.
Is if you had to break this down, and Jordan, I appreciate you making this a horizontal bar and not a vertical bar, in which case we would have felt like everybody was flicking us off.
Yep.
But this is meant to show what the mechanics should be the bulk of your course. You know what I mean? Usually introduction, myth busting, these are quick hitting things and you're moving on. You know what I mean? The mechanics is where you're going to spend some time. Maybe the mechanics is, 4 videos and everything else is 1 video a piece. You know what I mean? This is just, the mechanics is where you're going to break stuff down. First course I ever went and made was called instant hitting drills. It was a baseball hitting thing, right? And we had a 3-minute video introduction, a 5-minute video on myth busting, and then we had 10 5-minute videos on the mechanics. And then we kind of had 1 more video for maintenance and troubleshooting. And I honestly think maintenance and troubleshooting were the same video. You know what I mean? The bulk of it can happen in the mechanics. That is where you go, hey, listen, now we're going to execute on my plan for getting you higher SAT scores, right? Here's how you do it. Step number 1, right? Go get this book and this book and this book. I don't know what the steps are. I don't remember how I did on the SATs, to be fair, or I certainly would not be any help at this point in my life in making someone better at them. But the mechanics is where you start teaching. That's where you get to that. So, and remember, guys, if there's anything that we say here along the way that you guys really like, make sure you drop it into the comments down below, along with the hashtag CCC for Course Creation Challenge, and we will be giving away some cool stuff for people who drop in their takeaways.
Yep. In the chat, if you tell us what you're teaching. Like, we can kind of give you an example of like what a 5-part course outline would look like. So, what are you guys teaching? What topics are you guys working on? Drop it in the chat.
Yep.
Love it. Yeah. Is anybody watching Facebook, by the way?
We've got a couple people over there.
Are not watching on Facebook. I was gonna say the comments over on Facebook don't always come in over this way. So nice. Nikki's over there. What's up, Nikki? What's going on?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, cool. Yeah, I love it. Hey, here's a cool one. Let's talk about this for a second. How and where and how to begin homeschooling. Definitely a popular one for sure, right? Homeschooling type stuff is super popular, I think, in coronavirus times. I think it's only going to get more popular as we keep kind of going on and virtual world and working becomes normal. I think virtual school will become super normal. But yeah, like something like this, it's going to be, hey, why homeschooling? The introduction is all about why should I be homeschooling, right? What are the advantages of that versus something else? Myth busting, you're going to get right into, I'm sure the big myth most people are going to ask is like, I don't want my kid to be weird, right? Homeschool kids are weird. Let's go right at that. Myth busting city, you know what I mean? And go right at it. Then the mechanics are going to be cool. How do we set up, Karen, how do we set up your system for homeschooling? You know what I mean? For launching and getting your homeschool, set up and getting your kid ready to go, right? And then, yeah, maintenance and troubleshooting are sort of, they're sort of specific. We kind of talked about them a little bit, but Jordan, take your stab at maintenance and troubleshooting for like homeschooling.
So maintenance, like once you've taught the mechanics, once you've taught the step-by-step guides, it's like now you're going to put it into practice and you're going to stumble a little bit. You're going to mess things up. So maintenance is kind of there to catch you. So it's like saying, hey, I know we talked about in the last lesson, you're supposed to do A, B, and C. Here's the biggest mistake that most people will make once they try to implement this. And be wary of this, be mindful of this. And that's kind of, I think that's the most part of maintenance. And maintenance, again, can just be one video. It doesn't have to be this,
exactly.
5-part series.
Yep. It's your job. Maintenance is, I helped you get there. How do I help you keep it? You know what I mean? If the goal with Karen's course is to get someone to a point where they are homeschooling successfully, you know what I mean? How do you get them from there to the end of the school year successfully? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to be super long or super in depth, right? It's just sort of I've helped you achieve X. How do I help you keep X, right? And then troubleshooting is more FAQ stuff, right? Troubleshooting is the, some roadblocks they might hit, some follow-up questions that they might have, right? And yeah, you just get a chance to toss those all into troubleshooting. So love that. Really, really good example there.
Yeah, troubleshooting, Scott, troubleshooting can also be like the future journey. Like, okay, we've come to a close, we've come to an end. Now going into the future, like if maintenance was like the next month, troubleshooting could be like the next year. This is what you're going to look for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Whatever kind of FAQs you get, and they could be really simple too, right? Like troubleshooting could be like, hey, where do I access my course, or something like that. And that's your job. Like, it could be very simple FAQ type stuff, but really it's all about, okay, how do I remove the roadblocks that my students don't see yet, that they're not going to run into yet? How can I help them run it or get over some of those roadblocks, right? So here's another cool course from CCC.
Sweet.
Is that supposed to say something else? CCC? Would that be it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. YouTube titles. I never know. I'm teaching software design for small businesses, right? So, software design type stuff that's super specific. It's definitely like awesome. The kind of thing that the right expert can help a ton with, right? So, Jordan, what do you think like some myth busting to be done there is?
Some myth busting. Maybe depends on the angle that he wants to go with software design for small businesses. I mean, it could be like, it doesn't have to be that complicated, or here are the common myths when hiring your first designer or your first coder. Like, watch out for these.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. How about you have to pay someone $100,000 to design your stuff, right? Like, yeah, go right at those big objections. Because again, this is the kind of stuff, like, think back to the pods that we talk about in other weeks, right? We always talk about your pods need to be things that are going to help your customers go, oh, aha, I don't have to worry about X, Y, or Z, right? A lot of that can be tied to the myths that you bust up here, right? like one of your pods for a course like this might be, you know, I'm going to show you why, you know, $100,000 designers are like, you know, way overpriced and how you can get the same great result yourself. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, right? That's a great pod to sell this course. And then you talk about that in some of the myth busting type stuff, right? You get a chance to go right at those big objections. Why isn't someone buying your course? I don't want my homeschool kid to be weird. I don't have a budget for a big designer, right? I don't know. I'm kind of weak and scrawny and I'm not going to be a great baseball hitter, right? That kind of stuff. And you go right at those big objections, right at them. So love it. Yeah, no, I think those were great examples.
Cool. Let's move on now to the biggest topic that was requested in the survey today. Pre-selling your course.
Pre-selling. Paige, give the people what they want. What is pre-selling?
Pre-selling is just exactly what it sounds like. It's like a soft launch into your course.
That's I love that term. Yeah, soft launch, right? It's kind of like if you're opening a restaurant, they always do that like friends and family day, right? Where it's kind of expected, like some things might go wrong, you know what I mean? But like you're also not paying full price. You know what I mean? Like that's the idea. And pre-selling your course is the best thing on the planet. Okay. For all of you guys who are now, all of you, everybody in this challenge now is now a digital product seller, right? This is what you do. You're a digital product seller, right? The beauty of selling courses and digital content and stuff like that is that you get the opportunity to go out there and sell something. Okay. But when you make it better later, right? When you take in more customer feedback and make it better, record more content, stuff like that, you can just give it to everybody super quickly. Okay. You don't have to worry that like if the iPhone were to ship out and it's not done, okay, and like they want to give it to everybody, take in some feedback and add a bunch more stuff. You know what I mean? Like they can't make the camera better without having everybody ship it back to them and ship them back out, right? But because we sell digital stuff, you don't need to be done with your course in order to collect money from it, okay? It's the greatest shortcut on the planet. We're going to help you guys make money from something that is not even done yet, right? So that, right, you can start getting people in there. You can start getting that incredibly valuable feedback and then make your course to match, okay, over time to be an even better course and even better offer that more of your customers are going to love, right? Because you'll have awesome customer feedback baked into it, right? Super, super valuable. So Jordan, hit it up. Cool. Typical course creation. Walk us through it, Jordan.
Let's do a little myth busting. This is the biggest myth that people think about.
This is a great example of myth
creating your course. So it starts on the left, okay, I've got my idea. I'm going to outline. I'm going to make my 5-part course outline. Now I need to go record it. Now to get my microphone out, my lights out, my camera. I got to practice. I got to look good on camera. And then once I've put that through the edit machine, I've made the videos. Now I got to go to SamCart and build the sales page. Then once I have everything ready to go, get all my marketing material made. Now I'm going from the building phase into the selling phase. And I say, now it's launched. Hey, everyone, we're here. We're launching it. You're marketing it. The problem is you may not be totally sure that this is the right idea. You may not be totally sure that this course is going to work, that it's going to resonate with your customers, that it's addressing the right problem, that it's even an attractive offer. But you've spent all that time recording your course, you've built the sales page, you've taken the photos, you've made the graphics. So you just kind of waste a lot of time. And that's like why people are so hesitant, I think, to getting into course creation, because they think this is the path you have to take. You have to start from the idea and go linearly down the line.
Exactly. Which is why most people never get to the point of making money or even launching it, right? Because it's just never done. You know what I mean? It's one of these things, I'll get to it later, I'll finish my course later, and it's like years go by, which by the way, like give me a guilty yes in the chat box down below if this sounds like you. And it's okay. It's okay. We've all been there. All right. But if it sounds like you, that you've just like, oh, I'll just put off making it and delivering it because, I'm not going to sell it till it's done. But, it just never gets done. It's just years later and something is still not done, right? That is so incredibly human nature. And so what we're trying to do is flip that process on its head, okay? I want you guys to go out there into the world, understand what it takes. And this is exactly what the Course Creation Challenge shows you. I want to show you guys how to start talking about your course in a way that people who don't know you already are going to care about it and want to buy it. And then we will worry about the least important part, okay, is actually building and recording and creating your course. I'm telling you, we're flipping on its head. All right. I want you guys to have money in your bank account from your course before you ever turn on the camera and start recording, right? And we do that in this training, specifically in the Course Creation Challenge. We do that by setting up an effective pre-sale. Okay. So we start with your topic and your idea and all that kind of stuff, right? And then we're going to flip. And in like a day or two, right, Jordan, when do we start talking about sales page stuff?
It's. I think it happened yesterday or the day before. So yesterday was beta users. Today was recording your course. But yeah, we're in that phase right now.
Yes, I love that for sure. Yeah. So, we're going to talk about how to use SamCart and create one very simple page, the pods you've already written, right? To create a page that's going to turn visitors into paying customers. You're going to roll out a pre-sale. People are going to pay you for something at a nice discount because it's not done. That's fine. We can communicate those things, right? And then we can get to work and start recording our course, or even creating your course by doing a series of live sessions, right? So I get 10 people to pay, $40 or something like that, right? All of a sudden you've got $400 in your pocket, and recording and creating your course can literally turn into like 3 Zoom calls that you do with those 10 people, right? Record those calls and bam, your course is done. And I mean, this is the kind of thing that if you stand back, right? The first time you go through the Course Creation Challenge, it's a lot to take in. It's definitely a lot to take in. But once you get good at this, you will be able to do this entire process we talk about in a matter of days, okay? Literally, you could do it start to finish in a matter of like 5 to 6 days. You could do this over a weekend, right? If you're really humming with it. So yeah, this is the SamCart course launch, right? Jordan, walk us through how this is different than this previous slide.
Yeah, so I'll switch back. And folks, if you want to take screenshots and share this, by all means, this is all for you guys. So the typical one, you start with the idea and you go all the way to the launch day. And the problem is there's this big emphasis on the launch day. It's such a important day, and you have so much work that's gone into it. But at the same time, you have no validation. You don't know if this is a good idea. You don't know if people are going to love this. You don't know if your customers are into this, or this even makes something that makes sense. So this is where we're saying, start with the idea, build your SamCart page, make some mock-ups, make some product graphics to say hey, this is what the course looks like. This is what's going to be inside the course. You're basically making a proposal to your customer. And then the pre-selling and marketing is saying, hey, everyone, you're being super open and authentic and telling everyone hey, everyone, like a soft launch at a restaurant. This is not quite done. It's still in progress. You guys are the first users. And because you guys are the first users, because this isn't even close to being done, I want to give you guys 50% off. I want to give you guys 90% off. Some insane deal, some insane percentage off to where they say, hey, I'll join your course. It makes sense. And, I'm taking a risk, but hey, I get a discount. So it's a fair trade.
Exactly. And we're jumping the shark a little bit here. We're giving you guys a preview of what's coming at the end of this challenge. Towards the end of this challenge, days 12, 13, 14, we get into the marketing side of things, right? Which is really the more important skill set. The more important skill set for you guys and creating and successfully selling your course, you know what I mean, is just some slight tweaks in how we talk about it, right? And how we present it. Presenting a pre-sale is such a nice, easy way for you guys to turn visitors, turn audience people, turn whoever, right, into paying customers and put some money in your pocket. But anyway, Jordan, you were saying we were in the middle of the thought there.
Yeah. So once you launch, then you start to get that validation. Customers get in the door. You can ask them questions. You can tell them and ask them how excited they are, or if they had any questions. And then once the cart closes, and you tell folks, hey, all right, the course will be available in 2 weeks. The course will be available in 1 week. And then you spend that 2 weeks actually making the course, recording the course, just using your microphone, using a slide deck. And then 2 weeks later, you email all your new customers and say, hey, everyone, the course is now finally ready. It's available now. It's public. Just go log in and enjoy.
Big time.
So the biggest pushback to this idea is, okay, all right, Jordan, I went through all this, and now I have no customers. So that's actually kind of a good thing, because that was validation. That means your idea wasn't that good or wasn't that pieced together. So instead of wasting time going to the next step of recording your course and doing all that video production stuff, you just say, hey, okay, I need to go back to the drawing board and think of a better idea. I need to think of a better outline. I need to build a better sales page, and then bring it back out to market. And then hopefully get customers. And this just saves you so much time. It saves you so much anguish of just wow, I dumped 100 hours making this course, making all these videos, and I got nothing for it. So
Exactly. Yeah. What would you rather have? Would you rather have, a limited amount of time and effort and energy spent into creating a page that's going to pre-sell your course and find out no one wants to buy? So you got to make some tweaks to that page. You got to do a little bit more there, right? Or would you rather take all that time and effort, get in front of a camera, record your course, edit it, produce it, all that type of stuff, right? Then create all the marketing stuff, go out to the world, and nobody buys it then, and you got to start from scratch again, right? What we're doing here is trying to shortcut the process. If you're trying to validate a new idea, right, what we are teaching you inside the Course Creation Challenge is the most effective, efficient, you know what I mean? Like, we are going to not waste, we're going to protect as much of your time as we humanly possible and create a much shorter cycle, a shorter to-do list, essentially, right, for you to take your idea out there and find out if someone's willing to pay for it. All right. If you do and follow what we're doing here in the Course Creation Challenge, if you pick an awesome niche, then you pick a great topic, then you write a great title, then you write some pods, you create a quick pre-sell page and take it out into the world and no one buys, then all you got to do is just start back from scratch there again, right? And that amount of work is a lot better than what most people out there are trying to get people to do in order to bring courses to life. Okay. So bringing your course to life, we are going to do it as short as humanly possible, right? All that means is, hey, maybe I need to tweak my pods. You tweak a couple of bullet points and you try again. You bring it back out there, right? But follow our lead here. This is going to be the shortest possible path to taking everything out there.
Cool. Unbalanced Pedestal Podcast asks, is this after the beta testing? So where does beta testing come in this kind of sequence?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, beta testing is sort of, I would say, beta testing happens before you go out there to pre-sell, right? Beta testing is basically like, okay, cool. I've created my course outline. I've given it a little bit of meat. You know what I mean? I haven't recorded anything yet. The idea is not to sit down and start recording all kinds of stuff yet, but you want to take the outline of your course with some details included and get it in front of 3, 5, 7, 10 people, right? You take their feedback in. Hey, what do you want more of, right? What did you like about this? What would you like to see more of? What about what I have here doesn't interest you? You know what I mean? And then you take that feedback into account, and now you're ready to pre-launch, right? Now you have what's in your brain, you have what's in the brains of some of your target audience, and you're ready to take your idea out there and start pre-selling, right? So beta testing is more just about, okay, I made my outline of my course. Now I just need some other feedback. I need some other eyes on this, right? It's kind of like you have a rough draft of your term paper, and now you have to like let somebody else in your class see it before you turn it in and go get a grade, right? Like that's what you're doing here.
Yep. I wanted to add about after the fact that you get customers and then you move on to recording your course is now you have some money in the bank and now it feels like you're getting paid to go out and record this as opposed to working on spec. It feels so much better. You're like, dude, I just made $400. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to go this weekend and I'll spend the entire weekend making this course. Like it's the pressure it's a good kind of pressure to have.
Absolutely. Nothing is going to kick you in gear. Everybody that said a guilty yes, by the way, of which there were like 7 or 10 people already who already said like, yes, I have let my course being done just delay time and delay, right? My course isn't done is the excuse you've been using for potentially years, okay? Nothing is going to help you get past that one objection faster, better, stronger, whatever, right? Than having had someone pay you for your course, even if it's a pre-sale, even if it's just a little bit of money, right? But putting some money in your pocket, you're going to feel like you invented fire. You know what I mean? It's like, it is going to be that first win that I know is going to propel all of you guys to some big, big things in the future. Right. But get your thing out there, pre-sell it, right? Get out there before you invest tons of time and effort and energy into creating and all this kind of stuff. And you'll be walking on cloud 9, man. You will be so motivated to get in there and finish and record or, create whatever you need to create that it's going to fly by in like a day, not drag on for the next 2 years.
Perfect. Anything else you guys want to add about pre-selling or final thoughts about the 5-part course outline before we get to Q&A?
No, not really. My only thing is, when you go to do a pre-sell, right? Your job is to clearly communicate the idea of, hey, listen, this isn't done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to give you a huge discount because you're helping me finish this up. You know what I mean? Like, whatever like that. And people are going to jump at that. You know what I mean? Like, as long as your pre-sell price needs to feel like a deal. You know what I mean? That's it. Because you can always go back and raise the price and do more later. No big deal. It doesn't matter at all, right? But it's the idea here is, I want to make sure that my audience knows they're getting a good deal and why they're getting a good deal. You're getting a good deal because you're going to help me finish this thing, right? And I want your feedback. I want you to be a part of it, right? And the right customers are going to jump at that opportunity.
All right, let's do some questions. Scott and Paige, we have some pre-made questions from the survey. You guys want to tackle those, or do you guys see any in the chat at the moment? Let me know, because we got these. Got these ready to go.
I'm reading them up. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do some of these, and we'll circle back to some stuff that's in the chat because we have a few.
Sweet. Yep, folks, drop your questions in the chat. We're here to answer them. If you have a technical question, like a support question, best way to go is probably support. Is the knowledge base support.samcart?
It's help.samcart.com. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Help.samcart.com.
I'll type that in the chat. Here we go. Yep. Any questions about payment processors, building your page, getting onboarded, getting your actual SamCart account set up, help.samcart.com.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. I love some of these quotes coming in with oh, Jordan, you just dropped that in.
Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry. We're fighting.
We've got a lot of people who are excited about the idea of pre-selling, for sure. Yeah, right. Like money is going to motivate you to keep moving. Money's going to get you out there. You know what I mean? Here's one question that came in from Indigo Skylab. Amazing. So I could share my landing page to see if it attracts customers before I record the course. Bingo. That is exactly right. That is what a pre-sell is, and that is the power of setting it up this way. You know what I mean? We are putting you guys in a position to succeed by making sure that we're not telling you to go undertake a process that's going to take 6 months or a year. You know what I mean? Like the idea of sitting down to record all your stuff before you ever find out if anybody wants it is ludicrous. And you got to flip it on its head, right? We're going to make a quick page where it's going to showcase and showcase what your course can do. It's going to excite your readers about it, right? And then that awesome discount is going to draw people in, and then you get a chance to go and record. You know what I mean? It's really, really awesome there.
Yeah, Scott, the greatest example is a Kickstarter page. A Kickstarter page is a
100%.
pitch to saying they make a video and they say, hey, this isn't ready, but with your support, we can make this happen. And
For sure.
everyone understands the deal. So they understand that they're going to put their money down, and then in a couple weeks, they'll see the product. So
I love it. Yeah. Rena asked a good question. She said, I started small, and then when I did the 5-part course outline, it felt too small, right? Any advice?
Like small idea, like this is too narrow, too specific.
She feels like it's too short. You know what I mean? Like I did my 5-part course outline, and it all fits on one page of a Google Doc, right? Like, is that too short?
I mean, there's always a mini course. There's always that. You can offer it for less and just say, hey, this is a mini course. You can be done within an hour, and it's going to help you solve one small problem. Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. Yeah. Paige, you see a lot of our customers' pages out there in the world, right? What do you think about like small, short, specific products?
Oh, I think that's great, honestly. And then the course builder, you can also add quizzes and worksheets in there too, right? To interact with your students. So I don't think there's any problem when you feel like you might be starting too small or too simple, because you can elaborate more with using downloads and quizzes and adding videos to your lessons. So you can get really, really creative. So I think it's great, like we always say, to start small, but you don't have to stop there. You can always keep adding to your courses. And then again, add those videos, add those worksheets and downloads and quizzes too.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. No, I mean, Rena, I would say, listen, your 5-part course outline, if you go and you do it and it feels short, it feels small, then either look, that's probably a good thing, number one, because we always talk about the idea that your course, your product, your ebook, whatever you guys go and create, right, should be specific, and it should solve a really specific need, right? And so if it feels short, that's okay. The question to answer is, does it get the job done? Is someone going to go through your course and get what you promised them out of it, right? And as long as that's a yes, it doesn't matter how short it is, honestly. I have seen the shortest thing I've ever seen is I saw a course one time that was sold. It was like $8,000 or $9,000, and you go into it and it is literally like 25 minutes long. It was very short, right? But for what it was very good. And you know what I mean? I had no qualms about it. It was like exactly what it was, a very, very specific thing, right? For people who are spending a lot of money on Facebook advertising, and it was very good. You know what I mean? So there's no right or wrong answer. There's no specific length that we're shooting for. You know what I mean? It's mostly about, does your course solve the problem that you're promising it solves? And if that's a yes, then length does not matter.
Oh, we got to highlight Karen's comment right there. She says, this makes me think of the pre-orders for promotion for video games,
Heck yeah.
where you can add special perks for those who pre-order, And yes, like that's how you build the fanfare.
Absolutely.
You say like, hey, if you get in early, you're gonna get access to this, this, and this. And if you don't get in early, or if you get in after the deadline, then I'm
No big
sorry,
deal,
you're not
but
gonna
you're
get
gonna
these
be paying full
bonuses.
price.
You get,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep.
So
You're gonna be paying full price with all of
100%.
those schmucks.
That's so good.
LG had a great question. Do you have a training in SamCart on how to market our course once it's complete? The answer is yes, and it's called the Course Creation Challenge. LG,
Heyo.
you are in that course, okay? Stick with us, all right? Because the end of week 2 is exactly when we get into that. That's when I really take over. I take the mic from Jordan a little bit, and you guys are going to get my marketing brain expertise in how to turn around and market your course, okay? And not even just sort of for the pre-sale, but we also talk about how to do it ongoing, right? How to maximize your profits, how to dive into SamCart's awesome features that are going to maximize what you guys are making from your course, right? But that is all of it, again, in days like 13 and 14 of this 14-day challenge. So stay tuned. You are already enrolled in that course, my friend. This whole thing, I hope I'm going to get a bunch of yeses here. I can't imagine I wouldn't, right? But let me know, you guys all paid, what did they pay? You guys paid $49 to be in this course creation challenge. Do you feel like you've already gotten that amount back in value, even just in the first week? If you think so, give me a yes down below. Say, yes, I've gotten that value. Because I'm telling you, we have just getting started. You guys get so much in this thing for just $49 that I can't even explain. When you're saying I'm looking for marketing help, I'm looking for that kind of stuff, the best is yet to come. It is absolutely 100% still coming. And so we're super excited. Got a bunch of yeses down there for sure.
There we go.
That is exactly what we're here to provide for you guys. And I love how much we are able to put into these short 14 days with you.
All right, what else we have? We got some other questions. Steve asked, do we need an attractive title for our course? For example, like the title of the book, Books for Dummies. We'll be selling A-level business courses and vocational courses. Paige, what do you think about the title of your course?
Oh yeah, Jordan, we talk about this all the time
I know.
on One Page Wednesday. Having a title, I want to say you want to have a title that is not only like eye-catching, but simple enough to know like exactly what you're going to get. Like books for dummies, those are great. We all know about those, but I like it when I see a title and I know exactly what I'm going to get. I don't have to, read it a couple times to really like digest what this product or course is. You just really want to be like simple in a way to where anyone can read it and know exactly what they're going to get.
Yep. A lot of you try to be clever or try to be funny in your titles, which can be good, but don't get too crazy or too clever with it to where it loses its meaning.
Or too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve, we have an entire day, right? On, not to expose you too much, okay? But we have an entire day, I believe it is day 4 of the Course Creation Challenge, all about writing the perfect title for your course.
Oh, yeah.
So dive into Creator U, open up the challenge, right? Go watch day 4 because having the right title is super important, okay? Titles have got to convey, like your title's job, right? Is to convey the idea of, okay, like, what is my course all about? Right? Without giving away too much or trying to be too explaining. A lot of people, they want their course to say like how to start homeschooling your kid, even if you've never done like, this kind of thing. And really we want titles that are more like, like at home homeschooling, right? Or something like short, quick.
Yeah, you gotta add the power words.
Yeah, like, we've got a whole training on that. Okay, so definitely go check that kind of stuff out. But for sure, that's having a really good, strong course title is super important, and one of those things that is going to make you stand out from the crowd. We talk about something called the bookshelf test. Either of you guys remember the bookshelf test?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
right.
Paige, hit them up.
You want to have a title on your course as if it were on a physical book, and if it was on a shelf, you would be able to read it easily.
Yeah, you'll be able to read it easily, right? Which means not 18 words. You know what I mean? Like reading the back of a book spine is like 5 words at the longest. You know what I mean? And it's also got to stand out. It's got to be the kind of thing. Again, we have a whole exercise to help you guys out. We've got the Course Creation Challenge worksheets. Go into Creator U, open it up, download those worksheets as well. Underneath of pretty much every single lesson in the Course Creation Challenge has that worksheet download, right? Doesn't like every single one of them have it?
It should, yes.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So go check those out. We've got a whole deal to make sure that you guys have awesome titles and awesome everything else for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take some of these pre-loaded questions. Why don't we just go down the line? So, can I use a white label course creator and brand it in my company's logo through SamCart?
Yeah, so there's stuff out there called private label rights, PLR content, right? There are places where you can go buy I'm going to go buy an ebook. I'm going to go buy, I mean, you can do whatever, you can do private label rights, whatever. But in the same way that you might go buy like, I don't know, like somebody's random fidget spinner and put your company's branding on it and sell it or something like that. You can do the same stuff with courses and books and stuff like that. But I really don't recommend this. I'm telling you right now. If you don't have the want or desire to go through the course creation challenge and create something perfectly specific for what your audience wants, I genuinely question what you're doing here. I genuinely question if you have what it takes to succeed, right? It's a nice sounding shortcut, but in the end, all you're doing is creating something or trying to sell something that you're not the expert on, that you're not that invested in, you know what I mean, that you didn't do the research on. What we're teaching you guys here to do in the course creation challenge is so valuable, okay? Most of you guys here in the challenge are people who are starting something up. This is your first idea. We've got plenty of people in here that this is their next idea. They're adding courses to an existing business, you know what I mean? But this challenge legitimately is everything that got me my first step to then launching what would become a 6-figure business turned into a 7-figure business, turned into 8, turned into, a $300 million software company serving 25,000 plus customers every single day. This is the first step to that, okay? I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen for everybody that goes through this challenge. What I'm saying is the process and what we're teaching you guys to do here are the skill set and the bedrock foundations for you creating a real, truly sustainable business that can be your main income and then some. This is exactly what we're talking about doing here, right? So if that excites you, okay, don't go create somebody else's content. Don't go buy some course or something like that. Get creative, all right? Apply yourself to the process we're talking about here. And I'm telling you, the sky is the limit. This is how it starts.
All right, we got some marketing questions, advertising questions. What are some ways to get sales without running ads? That would be making content, making YouTube videos, written content, Twitter. Just talking with your customers, finding those customers, creating content that addresses the problems. You can even take your course content and turn that into posts and videos and blogs and email newsletters and say and talk about those problems out loud publicly on social media. And then you're going to get some ping back from people saying, hey, I resonate with this, or hey, I read your article, or I watched your video. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm going through. And that's going to give you some validation. And that's where you can kind of start to push people towards your course.
I love that. Yep. Be sharing bits of your course all over the place. You know what I mean? Teach, train, make good posts on Instagram, make good posts on YouTube. Any of you guys that are Creator U subscribers, we've got whole other courses about how to grow your Instagram following, about how to use Facebook ads, about how to, do all kinds of stuff there. And yeah, generally speaking, if you want sales without running ads, it's all about nose to the grindstone. It's about being involved in communities where your audience hangs out and just being someone who teaches and trains and becomes a trusted source. You know what I mean? It is honestly, it's not that hard. You know what I mean? There's a lot of places you can do that. We'll talk about some of that stuff here towards the end of the challenge, but it is legitimately really not that hard. Okay. I promise you it's a little slower. It's, with ads, you can just turn on the hose and say, I want 100 customers today if you're willing to spend for it, but the getting sales without ads is actually a whole lot easier.
Perfect. All right. What are some other words we can use in our pods to replace the phrase "so that"?
I love that. I love that for sure. So anybody who doesn't know what a pod is, right? First of all, go watch day number 3 of the Course Creation Challenge right this very second. You're missing the biggest piece of what we're talking about. But in pods, we always say, hey, a pod could be something like this, right? Let's use the SAT course example, right? One pod, of which I want 3 pods for your course, that are going to be, what are they? A pod is a big aha moment, right? You're explaining to someone who's thinking about buying that what big aha moments is this course going to deliver for you, right? So I might say something like how to boost your math score 100 points, right? Without diving into, and retaking 2 more years of trigonometry or something like that, right? A lot of times we teach everyone to use the phrase "so that." So you say, listen, how to score better on math is not a good pod because it's too generic. It doesn't really help too much. So I say how to score better in math so that, you have the skills you need to, I don't know, whatever follows "so that" is typically what your audience cares about. It's a copywriting hack, right? But you don't necessarily want to use "so that" in all 3 of your pods, right? If it can become redundant and stuff like that. But you can say the same thing. Say the same thing and say "because." Say the same thing and say, in order to or something, right? Like
Yeah.
any little.
Yeah, you got to do a little wordsmithing, but the
Yeah.
formula remains like what you're going to get and why you should care about it. What you're going to get and what are the results. Just that plus that. So yeah, whatever sentence structure you want to do or your favorite words or synonyms, go for it.
Yeah, doesn't matter. There's no magic about specifically so
Yeah.
that. It's just the idea of keep the sentence rolling. You know what I mean? That's a big one right there. Here's a cool comment that Karen came in with, right?
Oh,
Karen was here last week and we did some of her pods, right? But she said she settled on the title, Help, I Just Decided to Homeschool, right? And so how do you think that title works on the bookshelf test?
I think so. I think it could
I
work.
like it. Yeah, I like it. It's got help in it, like big letters. You can even put an exclamation there. You know what I mean? I like it for sure. And then the subtitle, right, where you can kind of explain a little bit more, but you're also like, this is where you make the big promise. This is where you get to say a little bit more, right? Your step-by-step guide to firing the school system and taking charge of your child's education. What do you guys think about that?
That's good. That's electric.
I think that's dope. Yeah.
I like it, but I mentioned this last time. I think when it comes to homeschooling, you need to be more specific about like the grade or the age group because it could be so different from kindergarten to high school.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I love firing the school system. You know what I mean? Like that's tapping into some stuff. Like if you want to homeschool, you're like, you want to give a big middle finger to the school system. You know what I mean? Like that's where you're at personally. You know what I mean? So I love like kind of getting engaged and getting right in there. Right. That's a great example, Karen. Great job. Awesome transformation from like 1 week to the next. I think that's really, really solid.
Yeah. Rock and roll. I haven't made my course public yet. Is there a reason to leave it in the drafts? Or is it better to make it public even though it's not ready to sell?
It doesn't really matter. You know, now we're talking about stuff that inside of your SamCart courses app, right? Inside of your library at that point. You know, it's not a big thing. If no one can buy it, you know what I mean? There's no page ready for someone to go and check it out and buy it. Or you're not sharing the link for someone to go buy it. It doesn't really matter if it's draft or published. It's 6 and 1, half dozen the other. It's the kind of details that really don't matter. You know what I mean? Just keep moving, keep going through the course creation challenge, let's go get that sales page ready. Let's write your pods. Let's do those kind of things. And then, listen, when the time is right, you'll turn it on and start selling. It doesn't matter what happens along the way.
Yep. Everyone go to, I think it's lesson 7. It's building your course library.
Yes.
We have a graphic in there that you can download. And it's a nice graphic that says coming soon. And you can put that as the thumbnail to all of your videos. So you can just have you can make your course public. And just every time a student wants to go in there to see what's going on, it just says coming soon. And that's all it is. So like they can still see, they can get a sense of what the course is going to look like, but it kind of gives you a safety so that, once your video is ready, then you can swap it out.
Bingo. Yep. Love that.
Cool. Any other questions? I don't want to say do last call for questions, but
yeah, not last call or anything, but yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions you want answered, drop them in the chat down below. We'd love to talk about pre-selling. We'd love to talk about course titles. We could review some pods if you guys want, if you want to drop in your pods or your course title. Here's the ideal thing you could provide right now, your course title and your 3 pods. And as long as it's something that we haven't necessarily reviewed already, if you reviewed yours last week, maybe we'll give somebody else a shot. But these come into the Facebook group Fast and Furious. So I actually, Paige, you gave us a number of them this week. I feel like I want to dive back in and do maybe even some of those, but we'll see what comes in.
Yeah, drop your pods, folks. Drop your titles. Yeah, see if we got any on Facebook.
Okay, wait for it. I'm copying and pasting some of the ones that Paige gave us last week.
Okay, nice.
I'm going to pop in a couple titles too for y'all.
I dig it. Yep, guys, stick with us here. We are get some of the stuff set up for you. Whoop. Okay. All right, Jordan, I am almost ready. Almost.
All right. Yeah, drop your pods, folks. Or if you just got a title, drop it in there. Yeah, there's... Or just one pod, or 2 pods, or 1 pod, or...
Jordan, bring me up. Let's do this.
Here we go.
Okay. So here's one that came in through the Facebook group earlier this week. Paige, do you remember who said this, what their name was?
I don't, but I can find out really quick.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no big deal. Anyway, so here's the title and here's the 3 pods, okay? The Ultimate Guide to Adulthood. I am 18, now what? Right? The Ultimate Guide to Adulthood. Here's the title. I'm going to assume the whole thing is the title, not just some of it. right? But like my initial thoughts right here, okay, is who is this for? Like, is it for anybody who just turned 18? Is it for like someone who just got like their butt kicked out of their parents' house and now they're out? You know what I mean? I think we can be more specific, right? So, you know, you might say like, listen, every single person on the planet at some point, like who I guess who makes it to that point, you know what I mean? But like almost every single person on the planet makes it to the age of 18. You know what I mean? Like this is too generic. We've got to get more specific here. Who is this really for? Is this for the 18-year-old who doesn't have parental support anymore, right? Is this for the 18-year-old who is like financially on their own? Like, because then you can get more specific, right? Not the ultimate guide to adulthood, which is, again, probably applies to something like 6 billion people on planet Earth. You know what I mean? Like we got to get more specific here. So any ideas for you guys about how do we get more specific with this title?
Yeah, it's got, I want to say a phase or a demographic or a geographic location or, something. Yeah, because just everyone's going to be an adult, but if you're in America, that looks one way. If you're in Europe, that looks one way. If you're in Asia, that looks totally different. So like, turning 18, like and it doesn't have to be like the American's guide to becoming an adult, but
exactly. Yeah.
This is from Shay. I was able to find her in our Facebook messages. I'm agreeing with everything y'all are saying, especially like when you're an adult, you can not only, you know, do certain things like vote, maybe like, you know, buy a house, get married and stuff. So I would definitely specify this a lot more, you know, depending on the situation.
Yeah. You know, what if you were like the Lost Boys guide to adulthood or something, right? Like there's a lot of ways you could get more specific. Now I'm looking at guys, right? Now I'm looking at males. Now I'm looking at females. Now I'm looking at, you know, like people who got kicked out of their parents' houses now would be a really specific subgroup, right? This is like, is it for kids who aren't going to college? You know what I mean? Like
you can even do like the parents of 18-year-olds. Like you can,
for sure,
go even wider or a different audience.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. Okay, cool. So title's got to get more specific. It's got to call to a really specific person, you know what I mean? And not be overly generic there. So pod number 1, how to know if you're really ready for adulthood so that we've got that in there, right? You avoid the common mistakes of adulthood. Initial thoughts.
Yeah, I don't think we've got a good grasp on what the problem is. The problem that we're trying to solve.
For sure. Yep. I think a lot of this stuff is, that's a great point. I think you got to work backwards here, right? Like we don't know, I still don't know what I don't know what problem we're trying to solve, right? How to know if you're really ready for adulthood so that you avoid the common mistakes of adulthood is honestly like a complete waste of a pod. I don't know what this is. It's super generic, right? And if it sounds harsh, like I'm trying to avoid this person taking this to the world and getting crickets from it, right?
So this is what we talked about. You're not going to get that validation from your customers. You're not going to get, you're going to get zero response from this. They're going to be like, it's not even going to resonate with me. I don't even know what this is for. Why would I get my credit card out?
Yeah, for sure. If you guys take time and effort and energy and put it into your pods, I promise you, this is going to be one of the highest leverage things that you do, right? Really good pods will sell your course almost at any price, okay? Within reason, of course. Like, obviously, it's not like $1 million for my ebook and I should buy it. But really good pods will sell your course for you like you have never seen before, right? So how can we change this one? Let's think about this for a second, right? How to know if you're really ready for adulthood so that you avoid the common mistakes of adulthood. Like, I get what he's going after here, right? There are roadblocks when you are out on your own. There are things to consider. There is, you know, like everyone has that point, like when they think back and say like, oh my gosh, if only my 18-year-old self knew X, right? I would have saved myself so much blank. Like that thread is good. We've just got to get really specific about one that I know my audience cares about, right? And again,
how
if we do
to
this,
book your own doctor's appointment.
Right. Yeah. How about like a yearly health checklist so that you don't like, so your 40-year-old self doesn't hate you or something, you know what I mean? It's like something like that, right? Like we need to like, what are the big things?
We need to go like into a subcategory, like the guide to money or the guide to relationships or the guide to getting a house or the guide to like, it's got to be attacking something. You can't just say like, you can't just say life. We're going to help you with life. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
what
So like, let's do the money one. Let's dive into that, right? The Lost Boys Guide to Money. Like now, all of a sudden, we're already talking about something that's way more interesting to a subset of people, right? Like if you're describing it as the Lost Boys Guide, like people know if that's them. You know what I mean? Like a 19, 20-year-old, 24-year-old, maybe even a 30-year-old, maybe even like a 32-year-old, you know, like you might like people feel that one. You know what I mean? Like that's like a, yeah, that's, he's talking to me. You know what I mean? Kind of stuff. Right. So if we're getting really specific and talking about something like money, let's write a really good pod for this, right? Like, Paige, what is like a money thing that you didn't know at 18 that you wish you knew?
NFTs.
Invest in Bitcoin, right? Yeah. That's like, what if we did something like, I don't know. Like,
We talked about it with scholarships. I mean, that's
sure.
a whole nother.
scholarships, open up your first bank account, getting your first job,
Nice.
you know, how much to save when you're
Right.
18, what percentage, like financial advice.
Sure. Yeah. So what if we did something like this? What if we did something like, I always got told that it was sort of like the 70-30 rule, right? Was like your disposable income should be 70-30, right? And to be like something like the 70-30 rule that will set you up for financial freedom without sacrificing. I'm not spelling sacrificing right. Sacrificing
your Friday nights.
Your Friday nights. Yeah, that's such a great. I was going to say something about fun weekends, right?
Yeah, because like think who we're talking to. We're talking to 18-year-olds.
Talking to 18-year-old guys. Yeah. They don't want to be drags, but they don't want to F up their future. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of thing. Yeah. So what about something like how about like you know, the Idiot's Guide? And again, I'm just using some dramatic wording because that's who we're talking to right now, right? The Idiot's Guide. Oh, I keep doing that.
The Idiot's Guide, the Freshman's Guide.
I like that. The Freshman's Guide. I like that. Let's do that. So the Freshman's Guide to college scholarships.
Mm-hmm. And see, this, folks, this is what we're talking about. Like, you got to choose your niche at the very beginning. Like, we're attacking, like right now, we've drilled it down to 18-year-old men, freshmen who are entering college. Like now we know exactly what their problems are. As before, we just said all 18-year-olds across the entire globe.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
What
Calling all 18-year-old humans. Yeah. Yeah. Not quite. But how about like the Freshman's Guide to college scholarships that will save you thousands in debt once you graduate? You know, like now we're getting specific. We're hitting really specific pain points and things that our audience is going to go, dang, that sounds awesome. I want that. You know what I mean? What is the Freshman's Guide to college scholarships? I don't know. But whoever's writing this course, whoever's creating this hypothetical course, you know what I mean? You are the person that's got to be able to come up with specifics and names and make it sound unique. You know, it can't just be, I'll tell you about college scholarships, period. You know what I mean? Like there's a big difference between that and saying the Freshman's Guide to college scholarships, right? It's specific, it's unique, it's you, right? And I think that's a really, really good example there.
Sweet.
All right. So I'm looking through some of the stuff in that. Anybody else drop any good pods in there? Any other titles or anything in there?
Yeah, Nancy dropped her Feng Shui Simplified.
Feng Shui Simplified. Yeah, I mean, it's short. It's talking about feng shui. Like, here's my question, Nancy. That topic, that title, right, makes me think that people's main objection to practicing feng shui or pursuing feng shui in their home, like I don't know what the right verb is there, but it makes me think that people's big objection to getting into feng shui is that it's complicated. Is that true? Like, Feng Shui Simplified means, oh, okay, people think feng shui is complicated. That's why they don't do it, right? And if that's true, then great. But if that's not true, like if that's not the main objection people have, then maybe we need to think about something else, right? Maybe it needs to be like something like feng shui for Americans or something. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, you drill down like a demographic. So feng shui for apartment owners.
I was going to say, yeah, like
feng shui for homeowners,
right? Yeah, exactly. Like feng shui for your boat. Or something, I don't know. Like that seems
just be super specific because Feng Shui Simplified is the encyclopedia to Feng Shui.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Feng Shui Simplified means you're writing a big freaking course. You know what I mean? Like you can be more specific. You can drill down, and in that drilling down, in getting more specific, your stuff is actually going to be more attractive to your audience, right? More people will be interested there. Love it. Okay, so here's Rena had one. She just wrote in. Here we go. said how to master dental insurance terminology, a dental staff's newbie guide to insurance benefits. Yeah, I like it. It's a little long, like the initial title of it, right? How to master dental insurance terminology. Like that's also kind of a yawn fest. Like no one really cares to master dental insurance terminology, right? How about like dental insurance cheat sheet, right? Dental insurance cliff notes or something like I don't want to master it because I don't have that kind of time. You know what I mean? Master it makes me think like, man, I'm going to learn every word there is about dental insurance terminology. And that's not what I want. What I want is I want the 7 shortcuts that as an insider, you know what I mean? That's going to save me money. I'm after it to save me money. I don't give a crap if I master dental insurance terminology. I want to save money, right? And so, I think that's something that you can convey right off the bat, right? Is, again, something like...
Yeah, it's super logical. So like come in with an emotional benefit. Like, we're going to help save your career. We're going to accelerate your career. We're going to help you get a promotion. We're going to help your scary day one at the office at the dental insurance firm. We're going to make that like exciting or like be a superstar with this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And again, like even the sub headline, right? A dental staff's newbie guide to insurance benefits. Like I love the I'm an insider angle. I love the I'm an expert, so I'll teach you. You know what I mean? Like, but it also kind of means like, are you a newbie in the dental staff? You know what I mean? Like the wording's a little confusing. It kind of makes me think like, okay, you're new in the dental world, but you're going to teach me. You know what I mean? It needs to be like,
I read it like
I'm a professional.
Yeah.
A dental professional's guide for newbies. Like something you gotta make it a little more clear. Yeah, I like that. Cool. I like that.
All right.
Cool. All right. PSHC again came back, said, are we able to get Uriel's feedback on course, Google Pods, whatever, somehow after this live? That's what these lives are for. We can't possibly do this for every single member of the Course Creation Challenge. There are hundreds of you guys. So we definitely can't do that, but that is a big shout out. Paige, tell them about the Course Challenge Facebook group.
Yes, join the Course Creation Challenge Facebook group and share your pods with us in there, and we'll try and get to them as soon as we can, but you'll also get feedback from other sellers as well. So drop them in there, and I guarantee you will get some feedback.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can't guarantee that like I'm going to read every single one and give this kind of stuff, but that's why we do these lives, right? That's why we're doing these as a group and why we do as many of these as humanly possible, why we give you guys the recordings to old ones that we did, right? So that you guys can see what makes a good title, what makes a good pod, right? What goes into a good sales page, that kind of stuff. And so you can apply that to what you are doing. So let's do this. Let's do one more with Jennifer Maddox, okay? And here's the title, Love is the New Fear. 7 self-loving ways to live a fearless and free life.
Let me think. Sounds a little Dr. Seuss or like a little bit of a mouthful.
It's confusing. Honestly, I would say it's confusing. Yeah. Like I get what Jennifer is going for here. You know what I mean? But it's a lot to take in. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like love is the new fear. 7 self-loving ways to live a fearless and free life. There's fear, right? But then there's fearless and free. Like there's just, I think some different words are going to take this one a long way. You know what I mean? Like instead of repeating love twice, fear twice, like, you know what I mean? I think we can, it's almost like trying to be Dr. Seuss. I think that's like a good way to describe, you know what I mean? It's like, I see what we're going for here. I just don't think we stuck the landing. You know what I mean? I think it's like, I kind of like love is the new fear. It's curiosity driven. You know what I mean? Like part of me is like, well, what is that? Like I'm immediately like, well, I want to keep reading. You know what I mean? I think that's really solid. I do think that the subtitle could be more clear. Anybody, any ideas from you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we could go, if the title is kind of vague, where like love is the new fear, then go super literal in the subtitle. How to blank, 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 blank. How to live a fearless life, or how to live a, because you're also assuming like, I know what self-loving means. I know what a fearless and free life is. Or is that again too vague and generic? A free life, a fearless life?
7 ways to banish fear and let love in. It's like something like super, you can't miss it. You know what I mean? Yeah, the subtitle, because the title is nice and kind of grabby, you know what I mean? Like the subtitle should be very literal, very clear. You know what I mean? Like don't let anyone be confused, because this is the biggest one. I better see some hashtag CCCs after this one, right? Is a confused mind does not buy. Okay. A confused mind does not buy. Give me that one with a CCC on it in the chat, because that is like the ultimate lesson I can provide you guys, right? Is confusing words and words that swoop back and forth between each other, and they're just kind of trying to be cute. I'm telling you, more times than not, I see that stuff flop down on its face hard. Okay. Is that you guys should be like intriguing, driving curiosity. Okay. But speaking very plainly. A lot of times we talk about like, okay, whenever we go to launch something new, we take something out to the world, is we like to say, if this isn't at a 3rd grade reading level, then we're talking with too much complexity, right? Talking at a 3rd grade reading level is going to ensure that your readers are going to be really like in, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I get this. They are speaking plainly. They're talking to me, right? So something like love is the new fear is curious, and it brings me in. I like that. Okay. But the confused mind part, right, is where we got to avoid that kind of stuff in that subtitle for sure.
Mhm.
All right. Anything else? I think that's
Dig it. Course creation challenge. What's coming up next, Jordan? What is days 10, 11, and 12? Day 9 dropped today, right?
Day 9. Yep, day 9 was a 2-parter. So one was
Two-parter.
about how to record without a camera, and one was recording with a camera. So
Heck yeah.
so yeah, I get to take the stage on that one. And then for steps 10, 11, and 12, that's when we're getting a little bit further into the course creation process, actually making, lighting, recording, and then we start to get into marketing and sales and pre-selling and getting your audience and getting that sales page built and ready to go, and even putting together a nice offer that sounds interesting and sounds juicy. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. If you guys want something that looks like this, you see this nice crystal clear video, you've got nice lighting, right? What's something's going on in the background? It's nice and simple, right? This is what Jordan does for a living. Okay. And this is what Jordan is going to help you guys do in any room, in your house, in your apartment, in your condo, anywhere. Okay. It could be in your boat. You might be able to do this in your boat if you have a boat, if that's something you aspire to. People who live on lifeboats or houseboats or something. But this is what Jordan's going to help you do. So if you love our videos, you love the look of what it is, you guys are about to get the full inside access, right, into how we set this kind of stuff up. How do we do it with minimal equipment? How do we do it with minimal professional type stuff, right? And be able to create awesome content like this on your own. So this is the kind of stuff I'm really excited to get into. This is what's coming up next for you inside of the Course Creation Challenge. And Jordan, when is our next live?
Next live stream is a week from today. Same time, same place. I've dropped the events page here in the chat, but we'll send out emails if you haven't already gotten an email. The link is also in the Facebook group. But yeah, this is where we're going to go in depth talking about how to record your course, how to get the right audio quality, get the perfect microphone or a simple microphone, or how to even record your course with just your iPhone, keeping it very simple. So yeah, next week, Friday, March 18th at 4 p.m. here in this very room.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. Be sure to head over into the SamCart Course Creation Challenge Facebook group if you are not in there already. Subscribe to updates. We post lots of stuff. Great place to go get feedback. But enjoy your weekend. Get caught up on any lessons you have not seen just yet. Start working on those pods. Start setting up that video studio, right? Get your course outline together. Super, super excited to dive right in and to keep this train on moving. Very, very, very exciting what is coming next. All of you guys, we will catch you guys in the next live next Friday. Until then, peace out. We out of here.